Hi, this is Tractor Time. It's been a while since I made a video, but today we are going to install a 2 remote system here. So I took a couple of pictures here how to remove the diesel tank. There's 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here to remove the top cover on the fuel tank. Then behind the seat there is 6 bolts that holds the tank in place. Here's the fuel sensor. It's just a little snap here that you push down and slide off. Then the tank rests here, and it after, of course, this is the main fuel feed. This is the return. So just unscrew those, put a bolt in them so you don't get any contaminants in the fuel, and then just kind of slide it out carefully. The hardest part will be to get the tank back in here. That was a little tight, but I'll figure it out. So now for the adding on the second remote here. I did get 2 remotes in the whole kit here, and they are both with no detent. So if you desire a detent, if you have a backhoe or a log splitter, then I suggest you install the detent on one of your valves. For my use, however, I do not need a detent. It's more of an irritation point, really. So, and here are the 2 couplers and the different joysticks that goes with the thing. So now what I'm going to do is take off these 2 bolts that hold the return feed here, and then this is just a blank, I believe. These things did not come with any instructions, so this will be a go as I feel like, since no one has made a video like this. So I'm going to loosen these here and take the 2 bolts off and continue the video from there. Thanks. Okay, so I'm just gonna loosen these 2 bolts. They're not very very hard. I believe you don't need to use a whole lot of torque to put these down when you screw them back on. Same was it with the bolts in the tank. They're just snug. You don't need them to be really tight because they're just the nuts are baked into the plastic, the polypropylene or whatever material the tank is made of. So okay, now it's loose. The whole block is loose. Okay, so to loosen these, there's just a 14mm socket. You take them out, both of them, and now everything here is loose. Now you take that, you'll be leaking a little hydraulic oil here. So that's how that looks like. Okay, so now we have got the single circuit off. Next, we're gonna have to replace the original bolts that goes here and here, because you see the dummy block that is underneath and they're slightly longer than the stock bolts, because the dummy block is thicker than the circuit that we will need to. So we then need to stack 2 of them. And following a tip from Tony Tractor, when you bolt this on, he did that on the 2515, tighten 2 nuts up here, and then you take the 2 hydraulic blocks and stack them up here and screw them down. Tighten this and use the tightening of these 2, and then thread this bolt all the way until it's snug, and then unlock these 2 nuts and do the same on the second one here. Let's get to that point. Okay, I have now snugged these 2 nuts together, locked them. So now I can do the other one. The same with the other one. Okay, here's a little tip. Put on the shifter links here on the remote before you put them on the block. That way they're easier to get in here through this boot that comes up into the cabin. This is just tightened with a zip lock or a zip tie under there. So just get them in there routed first before you bolt them down. Okay, now that we've tightened these bolts down into the main hydraulic block, now it's time for the return feed to come down. And then I have two washers here, along with the two nuts I used to tighten down. So now you put the washers on, and then you snug these up, and then we can put in the remote valves and extensions here. I'm gonna snug these down, and then it comes with two fittings of different lengths, so one will be longer than the other. So I suggest you put the longest extension here up top, because otherwise your top bar might hit these earlier if they're on the bottom. So let me tighten these down, and then let's start mounting the connectors. Now next we're gonna put these extensions on to the couplers. Here I use thread sealant for 3/4 of the turn, and then you can plug it in here or screw it in here. So I'm gonna do that on all of these. I use Loctite thread sealant stick, work really well on hydraulics. No messy tape. Okay, now I'll snug the extensions on these two of different lengths. So the short one will go at the lower point, and this one will be on the top. So now what we're going to do, let's find a flat screwdriver. Now we should be able to pop off these okay. Let's go with the short ones first. These have a O-ring here, so they don't need to be super tight. Just snug. Let me see here. If no, that was a little too big. Let me see if I find something that fits. Okay, so these ones are 22. There. Move that one out of the way. Maybe do that one too, so it's Guten Tag. Yeah, that's what the Germans say. Even though I'm Norwegian. Living in the United States. Now the longer extensions. And there, good and tight. And now the last one. It really helps to unpop the cap when you turn them around. Let me see. Okay, sorry I had to do the last one with two hands. It was a little bit hard to hold the phone while I was... But anyway, now we have a dual remote installed on TYM T474. It should be the same for a T394, possibly 353, similar chassis. And now I'm going to try to mount the diesel tank, fuel tank back in here. This is the hard spot to get it into, pop it in place where the fuel sender is up here. So, but I drained the tank as much as I could before I got it. So anyway, we'll take it from there. I'll show you when it's all in place.